Greetings, fellow traveler and viewer. Welcome to Sleep Tarot, where we do tarot card readings in a slow and quiet style, similar to those late night radio shows. Before we begin, please keep in mind that this is a broad reading. So, if you find a particular topic or idea connecting very strongly, bring it along with you on your journey. And if not, let it float on by. This is a pick a card reading, so we will draw 3 cards and then assign an item to each. This way, you have the opportunity to choose your reading based on how you resonate with the item. And then we will reveal each card. Perhaps the card reveal will reaffirm your decision, or it'll open new pathways for you to consider. Please feel free to watch one or all of the readings. Remember, the choice to explore is always up to you. So, let's begin. I hope you're doing well. We're just going to draw 3 cards now, and we will assign a crystal or mineral to each. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, and 1 more. A couple fell. This one. Cool. Let's see what we got here. 1 second. Excuse me. 1 second there. Okay, so we have 3 cards. And let's assign an item to each. We'll go this way. So, for card number 1, we have the amethyst. For card number 2, we have the rosette crystal. For card number 3, we have the jaguar jasper. Or is it leopard jasper? Sorry guys, it's leopard jasper. Okay. So, I'll let you choose if you would like to choose based on the item or the crystal. Now. Okay, let's reveal the cards. For the amethyst, we have 4 of wands. For the rosette crystal, we have 6 of cups. For the leopard jasper, we have, let's just show that here, the 10 of cups. Look at that. Okay. Celebration, very abundant time for the last one. But these are all actually very relationship and joyful cards here. Focus on relationship and family. Cool. So, I'll let you choose your card for your reading, and we will move on to reading number 1. Oh, please keep in mind, this is a new channel. I almost forgot. So please consider subscribing, because as a new channel, your decision to like or subscribe has a magnified impact on the success of this channel. So please consider it, because it is actually very helpful and very much appreciated. Okay, let's move on to the readings. Hello, group number 1. You chose the 4 of wands alongside the amethyst crystal. Let's take a look at what's in store today. Before we begin, I'm going to read, after we've picked out the cards, I'm going to read from the book, the Oracle with the 4 of Wands, or the text that corresponds to the 4 of Wands with this specific deck, because I found the book to be very nice and a good way to clarify exactly what the theme is going to be for this reading. Sorry for the focus when I shuffle. Okay. Hope you're doing well today. Group number 1. Reading number 1. Perhaps you're looking to have a foundation, start something new, or create a foundation for something important. The train just... wait, that was first. We start first here, go down here, then we move. We move like this. At least I try to do that. It feels right. Based on feel. We'll just shuffle a little more. A lot of sounds outside. A train horn. And then I think there's fireworks. Alright. Let's just draw here. Yeah, there's some fireworks. Celebration. This has like a wedding vibe. I always say that, but it does. It has like a wedding vibe. Starting a foundation, a family, but also like celebration. Okay. So, current position. Whoa. You see, that almost fell off. Let's reveal it. The Empress. Okay. Interesting. Well, let's see what the Empress does here. Decision. In the current point of reflection, in the above position, we have Two of Pentacles. In the current point of reflection, in the below position, we have the Fool. Decision, the Fool, beginning. A brand new beginning. A start of an adventure, of a journey. The hero's journey. I mean, this is the Fool's journey, but I also believe it corresponds almost perfectly with the hero's journey. And oftentimes, well, on almost every hero's journey, a decision has to be made to go on said journey. So, in the movement towards the present position, in the underlying position, the Devil. In the above position, Wheel of Fortune. Let's continue. In the point of reflection in the past, in the lower position, not lower, but the below position, we have Page of Wands. And in the above position, we have Death. Look at all these big cosmic cards in the past. Huge change that led to a feeling of destabilization. Transitioning, like a transition to the present was destabilizing in some ways, or felt destabilizing. Like the ground beneath your feet here just fell out. This is in the past, but here we have an idea of, well, we'll take a look at the Page of Wands, because I think the Page of Wands has the most to say to influence just what would be just a traumatic rift of just being at the whims of fortune, at the whims of fate, feeling like, almost like, can't trust oneself because so much has happened. But you know, that's when you have here, what you have here in the present is an opportunity for a new beginning. We have the Empress and the Four of Wands here, so this is not a bad reading. This is like monumental things happening. These are big things happening in the past, really big life-changing events. Lots of lessons learned. It's almost like this is a journey where you've had lots to learn. And now you're moving on in your journey with all of these lessons. Sounds like you were kind of a rebirth kind of story here. My phone is ringing. Interesting. And we have the Two of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Decision to move on. Sorry, pile number 1, my phone is ringing. I'm going to have to answer that once we reveal the last 2 cards. I'll probably have to call back. Ace of Pentacles in the underlying future point of reflection. And in the above future point of reflection, Seven of Wands. Reading number 1. This seems like a very interesting position of a storyline. I believe we all have narratives, and we're living multiple stories at once. We are heroes of a journey, but we're multiple heroes of multiple journeys simultaneously. And oftentimes, these readings kind of end at one point in the story, but not a full circle. This feels like a sequel. And I'll get into that in a bit, but this feels like a sequel. This is almost a recap of the climax of a story in the past. This is like all of the big things happening. Like if you were watching Marvel, this is when, all the heroes are out, all together united to face the ultimate nemesis. And then it looks like that story is ended. And here, open the curtains to the sequel beginning. And we're kind of in a different location, right? Because like this is like an interesting rift. And I feel like what happened in the past for you might be burdensome but very valuable lessons that you've held on to, but haven't actually. But now we're seeing a moment where those lessons, those values, those experiences are going to really shape the decisions you make in the future. Because you have two very strong choices here. And you have the beginning of kind of putting yourself out there and standing your ground alongside another new beginning of ideas. This is fascinating. I'm going to have to call back my friend, but I will, or whoever it is I called. I don't know why I said friend, but I will. I'm assuming friend. We're all friends here. I'm going to cut now, and I'll come back and we'll add some clarification to these cards. So it was indeed a friend on the phone. Okay, so we're going to add some clarification to this story right now. Before we do that, we're going to read a couple of the cards here. I know I said I wouldn't read as much from these books, but I really like the perspective that comes from this book. I think it's got some really beautiful messages. Let's start with Four of Wands. Life is worth celebrating. After all, what is all this hard work for if we can't celebrate even the smallest victories? Take a moment to consider the structure surrounding this card. It reveals that we're part of the greater whole. How does our success affect the world around us? Build up these strong foundations through what's true in our hearts, because that's what drives our passions. I read this last reading and I really liked this one. I really like it. Let's read the Empress. We all are, in some ways, working as one. The Empress is the manifestation of creation, the mother. She invites you to reconnect with the natural world, with its abundance of gifts, and nourish what we have created. Working as one to create through nature. We are in some ways part of nature. And I want to read Page of Wands. You have an idea, and you want to take action, but you're unsure where to start. You need to assess the details and break them down one by one to take smaller actions to support the bigger picture. You're ready to step into the unknown courageously in order to make your dreams come true. Step into the unknown. Step into the unknown. So, okay. We'll add some clarification in a second. But alongside these ideas, you want to build something big. You want to build a world for yourself. We all do. And perhaps you want to create it, but you're not sure how to really begin. Maybe you tried once, but you didn't really take it step by step. You kind of looked at the whole picture and tried to say, I'm going to do all of this at once. Well, if you're trying to do all of that at once, you're going up against quite a lot. And in fact, you're going to be at the whims of fortune oftentimes, because if you're not sure what the next step is, you're really relying on luck. Perhaps this is a story of you having tried to take on something monumental in the past. Group number 1, did you have big dreams, and have you felt a little discouraged right now? Because when you tried to take it on, you might have bitten off more than you could chew. Well, look at this. That opportunity, you will have that opportunity again to try, but with all the lessons you've learned, to take things one step at a time. Start from the beginning. This would be start with, hey, let's get stable income, or hey, let's make sure our emergency fund's saved up, or hey, let's make sure we have good credit. That's what this card would represent. But these cards are more decision making and taking quite a lot of experience with you along the way to stand up for what you believe and what you need, and what you want to create, because we all want to create something beautiful. Your vision is important. I hear a motor vehicle in the distance. Okay, let's add some clarification. I've been using the Art Nouveau deck. I might try a different deck later, maybe in a couple readings, a couple days. It's funny. The one card that fell out when I was shuffling to get the 3 cards to choose the readings, the one that popped out on top was the Emperor. And I'm like, oh man, I wish that was on camera. Because the Emperor has shown up in every reading the past few days. Okay, and we have the Empress here. But perhaps this is a more softer side of it. Maybe building a more nurturing environment rather than one that's focused on regimented command, organization. Maybe something a little more harmonious with nature, a little bit more nurturing. Okay. Queen of Swords in the current reflective position. Sorry, not Queen of Swords, Justice, but Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords did show up. Wow. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I always confuse Justice and Queen of Swords in this deck, but no, Justice, Queen of Swords. Wow, look at that. Huh. You have the Empress. A lot of very strong feminine energy in this. Page of Wands is feminine too. Fascinating. Look at that. Okay. Allowing what needs to sail off. In the past position, we have the 3 of Wands in the lower transition past position. We have 7 of Pentacles in the above transition past position. The reflection, another Queen. In the reflective lower position or below position in the past, we have the Queen of Cups and the Hierophant in the above position of the reflective past. Are you considering marriage, home? Are you dreaming of marriage, home? Do you want to create the foundation for a place where you can build a family? Is that what you're dreaming of? Maybe you started to move in a direction that you thought would get you there, and it turned out to be it sailed away. Can't really see the 3 of Wands, but there's boats sailing away in the distance here. Well, this is a new beginning with a lot of decision-making power, making the right choices here. Okay. Queen. Wow. Okay. Reading number 1. This is an intense reading. You have the Empress. You have 3 of the Queens. 3 of the Queens. You have Justice, and in this deck is a woman, and you have, no, not there. the Page of Wands, the Empress, and Four of Wands, which is like associated with marriage. You want to create an extremely nurturing environment with very strong feminine energy, where there's protection, nurturing, intuition, nature, kindness. We have the Hermit in the transition, future, above position. Moments of reflection. Knowing you have the inner light. The inner light is within us all. We all share that light. Finding that light. Reminding yourself that you have it within you. Four of Pentacles. I was thinking about the Four of Pentacles the other day, and I had a perspective on it, and it's fleeting right now. Maybe it's not for this reading. And the Two of Pentacles. Decision making, standing your ground, holding on to what you know is right. New beginnings, new foundations. Confidence in an intuitive means of finding enthusiasm and motivation. An intuitive means of making the correct decisions in a somewhat analytical but quick, intuitive fashion. Being able to back up your intuitive decisions with real hard numbers. Emotional well-being, creating a place of peace and security and stability. Group number 1. This is one of the more powerful readings I've seen since I started this channel, and it has quite a bit of authority behind it. I feel you know what's best for you, and you took on a monumental task, but it's one that's worth taking on. Like, look at those big cards, Wheel of Fortune, those like scarier cards, but like a transition into the new. Like, you have all of these strong cards coming out all together. I'm fascinated by this. I would love to meet you. Group number 1. Reading number 1, you have quite the energy about you. Okay. We're going to end this reading. I hope you have everything you need to create this world that you want. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Hello, card number 2, reading number 2. You chose the Rosette crystal alongside Six of Cups. Friendship, relationships, kind of looking back in the past. Kind of that nurturing, safe time period. Nostalgia. Hope you're doing well. Reading number 2. Okay. Oh, that one. If I've ever seen one that wanted to be picked. Look at that. Okay, we'll just draw from the top after shuffling a little more. I'll take that one too. Oh, 2. Okay. I hope you are doing well. Are you looking back on times where you felt like things were a little simpler? I do that often. Alright. Not as much anymore, but... Okay. Group number 2. We've drawn our cards. How are you doing today? Let's see. In the current position of the above reflective position, we have the World. Culminating, all-encompassing finality to the story. It's like the whole story in one. The whole story in one. With the Eight of Swords in the below position of the current point of reflection, perhaps you're feeling like so much is happening. This looks like almost like analysis paralysis. Because, it's a good reminder to remember that Eight of Swords, the figure in the Eight of Swords can always, there's a bug moving around, a gnat. The Eight of Swords, the figure in Eight of Swords can always free herself. The binds are loose. The swords are not surrounding her completely. She's more blind to the fact that there's a path forward, and all she has to do is remove those blindfolds. The transition below to reach this in the past. Past transition below. Lovers. Past transition above. Eight of Pentacles. Were you almost, as a chick, kind of like fell in love with your work, with your job? Workaholic, kind of. The past point of reflection, Seven of Cups. That's really funny. Seven of Cups is often associated with having so many different choices. In fact, the more traditional Seven of Cups has, all these cups with different figures inside of it. In fact, that popped up. It was the third card on the bottom of the Golden Art Nouveau deck. I can show you right now. Seven of Cups. Being overwhelmed by choice. Analysis paralysis. And the above position. In the point of reflection in the past, the Six of Wands. Well, oftentimes when you're successful, a lot of new responsibilities and opportunities arise. Perhaps what you weren't really realizing after having succeeded is that there were so many different options that while you might not have noticed you were being overwhelmed, you eventually now realize that there's so much with hard work, loving your work and being successful. If you love your work and you continue working, like you're going to keep working because you love it, because you've gotten that feedback that shows, hey, you're on the right path. You're doing something that people really appreciate. But that does come with a lot of choices, a lot of new opportunities that might be almost making you feel like you're overwhelmed a little bit. Perhaps you're not even aware you feel overwhelmed. But now when you realize it, you're like, well, actually, yeah, there's been a lot of, I've had a lot on my plate. And that's nothing to be sad about. That's good. But it is good to sometimes remember to take a deep breath and realize, hey, you can handle this. Maybe you took on a new role. Ace of Swords, a new role, decision making. Group number 2, are you in a position of authority? That has to make a lot of decisions. Two of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Swords in the lower position of the future transition. And then we also have the Two of Pentacles in the upper position of the future transition, making choices. 2 options. Which one do you choose? Probably more than 2, actually. Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. I'm going to take a moment, group number 2, and I'll be right back, but this is fascinating. This is one of, you are a strong decision maker. You are someone who potentially took on a role that was, of a little bit of prestige. Maybe it's something that you can, or something that you're personally really proud of. Let's see how that ties back into the Six of Cups in a moment. So I'm going to read from the book that comes with this deck, the Ethereal Visions Tarot, Six of Cups. What makes your inner child jump with joy? This card reminds us that it's time for some sweetness in your life. Appreciate the little things and do something kind for someone else. It's normal to feel nostalgic for the good old days. Just make sure you don't linger in the past for too long. Bring some of that love into the present. Nostalgia, innocence, joy, inner child, kind gestures. Well, I feel like you've been doing pretty kind gestures for people within the workplace. Maybe you're a very hard worker, or maybe you're doing something that benefits a lot of people. But remember to take a moment to feel joy. Don't get too overwhelmed by all the options. Remember that all the options are a result of you having succeeded in your endeavors. And look in the future, you have Queen of Wands. Bring a little nature into your life. And Knight of Wands. Standing tall. Let's read Knight of Wands too. I feel like Knight of Wands should be read. Okay. This knight is sometimes a little brash, and at times a little clumsy. This energy acts first and asks questions later. Their passions drive them forward, and their desire to be heard makes them want to take the lead with everything. They are typically fun and lighthearted, but are willing to charge ahead when faced with challenges. Passionate and determined. You're clearly passionate and determined, and this is in the under position. This is in the below position. So it might not be your overt actions. Your overt actions come off as command and very wise and compassionate. But perhaps there's a feeling that you want to move faster. You want to take a little more credit because you're doing so well. Let's clarify. Sorry, I'm off camera. It's very warm in here right now. Very warm. Okay, this card wants to come out. Okay, go right there. We'll leave it right here. Okay, the Four of Cups above, on top of the Eight of Swords. Four of Cups on top of the Eight of Swords. Let's just draw the rest and see. Okay. So the Four of Cups is focusing on 3 cups and not realizing a fourth is coming on the way. So on the way. The idea that there is something that if you just remove the blindfolds, there's a path forward to reach new heights, to reach a point of real ownership of a role. Ace of Swords. I'm going to read the Ace of Swords. I'm reading a lot right now, and I apologize. I just feel like it's good to stop and read a little bit right now. I'm going to read Ace of Swords from the other booklet for this deck. Sorry. Four of Cups. What did I say? Ace of Swords. That's correct. Okay. It's really warm in here. The air conditioning just turned on. Okay. The Ace of Swords signifies an emerging understanding and clarity of thought. The sword of light and truth rises through the crown of worldly attainment, symbolizing a more noble purpose than mere wealth or fame. Invoke your higher self and use your intelligence. Well, you clearly have that. And look at all that. Look, you have the Ace of Swords here. Wow. Yeah, use that sword of light. Ace of Swords. Wow, very commanding. You might want to see last reading too, because last reading had so much commanding energy. Temperance, patience. You had patience in the work that you did. You worked a lot and you were very patient. When there were small setbacks, you might have taken a moment to dwell on them, but you always knew there was something right around the corner. Your position of having all these choices came from having so many experiences. You were in a position of celebration. because you were succeeding in something. Nostalgia, maybe you're feeling nostalgia for a time that you were succeeding, but your ability to move forward, all it takes is just that new perspective. And then you'll have it within you, because we're moving from the over into the under. You're going to take this energy of almost divine decision making, and you're going to internalize it. With the love, we have the lovers again. Look at this balance. Look at this balance to the lovers. You're going to love what you do even more because you're going to know to stand your ground. You're going to know that what you're doing is the right thing. Someone wouldn't jump into the fray like this if they didn't know what they're doing is the right thing. We have the Five of Wands in the above transition future, and we have the lovers in the below transition future. The lovers is both in the past transition future and in the above transition future, or both in the past below transition and the future below transition. Your underlying motivations are of love, of passion. Are you passionate? Group number 2. We have the King of Swords, a lot of swords, commanding. Queen of Wands, King of Swords, having a very strong intellectual decision-making process, alongside a very intuitive, caring choices you make. And these Two of Pentacles popping up yet again. You're someone who makes choices, makes a lot of choices for people, and it affects many people. Don't feel nostalgia for the times of celebration so much. Of course, reminisce, but don't dwell on it because there's so much more coming. That's what this is saying. Feeling nostalgic for a time where you were very competent, and now you might be in a new situation where you're feeling a little uncertain. Maybe, what is it called? Imposter syndrome. Don't need to worry about that at all, because just don't dwell on when you knew everything, you knew how to do everything, you had all the sticks, you had all of the wands for a given situation, you were patient, you loved your work. But now, with a new focus, a new internal drive, you'll be even more in love with what you do. One based on, celebration and love and protection, nurturing, creating a place where, even more people will feel nostalgic for it in the future. Group number 2. I do think you might want to see reading number 1. It's a very similar, very commanding energy, and it's fascinating to see both back to back. I hope you have enjoyed this reading, and I cannot wait to hear what you're doing in the future to create a world filled with light and abundance and joy. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Hello, pile number 3, or card number 3, reading number 3. You've chosen the Ten of Cups alongside the Leopard Jasper. Look at the pattern there. It's pretty striking. Beautiful card too. Card of joy, abundance, celebration, family, a secure environment, a happy home. Is that what you're looking to create? Group number 3. Or is that what you're looking to appreciate? Or is that what's on your mind, I should say? I don't know why I said appreciate. What's the expression, the emotion that brings the most happiness is gratitude. I'm not sure exactly how that goes, but gratitude is a very beneficial emotion to meditate on. Apologies, group number 3. It sounds like a helicopter went by. Ooh. Okay. Well, we're going to shuffle those back in, but this is the only card that I was able to catch before falling. The King of Pentacles. We're going to leave that on the side for now. And we'll take this as a moment to shuffle a little more. Apologies for the delay on that. Let's shuffle these. This specific deck, the cards are very big. They're oversized, so it's harder for me to shuffle. If you see me shuffling clumsily, it's primarily because of these cards are making my hands do a little more than they're used to. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's just cut, start drawing. We'll cut one more time. Door closing. You know, as one door closes, another opens. Okay. Reading number 3. Your current position in the above. Coming up again. 8 of Swords. Okay. And your current point of reflection in the below. Page of Pentacles. Contemplation. Perhaps you're thinking quite a bit. Perhaps you're almost trapped in a thinking cycle. That would be this kind of relationship here. The transition past position, Page of Wands. Man, maybe I should have shuffled even more. Because a lot of these cards are showing up from the first reading. With the Lovers, a lot of these cards are showing up from the last readings. Maybe it's a sign that if you haven't, you might want to go back and check out the first reading. Okay, well, let's just take a moment here. In our current point of reflection, in the above, we have 8 of Swords. In the below current point of reflection, we have Page of Pentacles. Page of Wands in the transition, taking a leap into the unknown, alongside the Lovers in the overt above position in the transition place in the past. Past transition, Lovers. A reunion in the past, point of reflection. Holding on to old relationships, holding on to friendships. New lovers, transition into a new relationship perhaps. Uncertainty if that's the right choice. In the current position. To make a family. The Empress. In the future transition below. The upcoming transition below. An Empress. Tap your intuition more. Trust your gut. The overt, the above. During times of uncertainty, we have the Tower. The Tower is in the above position. In the transition, upcoming transition. The upcoming below transition is the Empress. Meaning, in these two symbols together, the Tower is a revelation, a shock, perhaps a very dramatic reveal. And then we have the underlying position is of intuition, of connection with nature, of creative energies, of nurturing, abundant creative energies, but also of very I don't want to say commanding, that's more emperor, but having authority. Standing your ground, you have the Seven of Wands and the underlying future point of reflection. And the above future point of reflection, we have the Nine of Swords. I mean, oftentimes if you're coming to Sleep Tarot, this might be a familiar sight. It seems like in this position, it's good to remember what it is that really matters and what your values are, to let you guide you out of any situation that you might feel is constricting. Holding on tight. The King of Pentacles is an energy that wanted to come out. So let's read King of Pentacles. Actually, first, let's read Ten of Cups. You have everything you need. You have achieved your happiness and wonder what is next. Pause and take time to feel the joys in your life. It's important to recognize and appreciate all the hard work done to get to this point. Marvel at your successes and celebrate the accomplishments of something bigger. But for now, sit back, relax, and take in all the beauty, happiness, and love. You deserve it. Fulfillment. Interesting that the rest of this reading has a lot more, I want to say color. It's like there's a lot happening here. There's a lot of action. There's reunions. There's love. There's going into the unknown. There's reflecting on what matters. There's having overly abundant, like absolutely just overflowing natural abundance alongside a shocking revelation into being burdened by sleepless moments and overthinking and standing your ground. But tied with the Ten of Cups is just so fascinating. You know, in some ways, this is like what you have to do to build a family, right? All of these challenges are going to come into play. Holding on to finances and being worried that, you know, we're not worried, but like holding on tight to certain like things, being frugal. But also like really, I feel like this is just like wanting to hold on to this feelings. I was talking about nostalgia in the last reading. Nostalgia was a big theme in the last reading, the second reading of today. King of Pentacles. Interesting. So we go from the Ten of Cups, and I was going to say we're going to read this one next. You know, I'll be honest, it didn't even dawn on me. The very next card in this book discussing the King of Pentacles. Look at that. It's convenient for me. But also kind of interesting. You are willing to put in the work and have the patience to watch things unfold. This king signifies that it is not time to rush projects on your table. You find order in chaos and help those who are in need. You give freely, for you know that the more you give, the more you receive. You are generous with your resources, and people look to your guidance. Look to you for your guidance. Well, if this is the kind of challenges and story that you seem to be taking the bull by the horns and handling, then group number 3, I would say you are embodying the King of Pentacles. Wow. Truly, you know, bringing kind of order to chaos and creating that kind of world for people where people rely on you. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you'll face on a regular basis. This is the story of someone who handles a lot of responsibility. And that needs to be applauded and acknowledged. Sometimes the people who take on this level of responsibility, people just assume, oh, like, we'll just go to them because they know what to do. But that takes a lot for someone. Are you a healer? Are you a leader? I feel like everybody in today's reading is someone who has a lot of command, who knows how to handle everything that's thrown at them. Well, not know how to, but is willing to just run in and take responsibility for what is put on their plate. Let's get some clarification. Let's add a little chaos to this order. Or hopefully order to this chaos, because look at all that. It's all over the place. It's a lot of contrasting energies, I would say. But with energies that are kind of influencing everything else being very positive. Heroes, Heroes face a lot. Okay. Let's keep going. And we will cut, shuffle a little more, and just draw the rest. Okay. Okay, clarifying. The current above position, the Lovers. Man. The below position. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords was showing up a lot in the last reading. The transition. Page of Swords. This is a hero's journey. This is just, oh my gosh, like, I just see someone just kind of running into the fray, like just going, I'm going to take on everything. I'm going to go, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to do this. Like, taking on just like a basket of responsibilities, temperance, patience with frugality, not just buying anything. Having the Nine of Cups, there is just so much happening. Nine of Cups right next to the Ten of Cups. Nine of Cups in the past, reflective position above. Temperance in the past, reflective position below. Page of Swords in the past, transition period below. Ten of Wands in the past, transition period above. Having a lot of experiences, a lot of lessons learned. Lovers above Ace of Swords, next to Two of Cups. Which lovers, relationships? What is going on here? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm being challenged by this because we have the Two of Cups in the below, the Hanged Man in the above transition period. Partnering up with somebody, perhaps, or deciding who your partner is in some endeavor, perhaps romantic or career-oriented. As above, so below, we have the Chariot in the below position of the point of reflection in the future, the resulting point of reflection, and Nine of Wands. Oh, are you tired yet? Because I am. Wow. Group number 3, how much are you doing? What are you taking on? How many different roles do you have? Are you like a working mother? Are you a working parent? Are you someone who has a full-time job and freelance jobs and perhaps a family or a pet? Some form of life that you are responsible for taking care of, alongside having the responsibility to provide abundance and protection for them. There's like everything here. There is everything here. Okay, group number 3. I do recommend going back to the first reading. Maybe this is the place to start. And then you want to start back to 1 and go to 2. Go 3, 1, 2. Because wow. This is a story of immense responsibility. This is a story of partnering with people to take and create a world that's important. You know, you have like a family here. You have parents, lovers, with a child. You have comparable energies. You have harmonizing energies alongside the lovers. You have many experiences and lessons learned, pride in one's work, alongside reunion with friends, frugality and patience, feeling of constriction, as well as enlightened but somewhat trapped situation, an enlightened person who just is not moving forward, but right alongside the tower above the Empress. Tap into your feminine instinctual energies. Your subconscious has a lot more strength than you realize. What might feel like just constant worrying could be your subconscious telling you it has the answer and you're ignoring it. You know, perhaps you want to release yourself, because the hanged man can release himself whenever he wants. That binding, he actually has a hold of the ability to let himself float free and find truth. Because once the person in the tower falls off the tower, that mask comes off. And who you truly are, an intuitive, sensitive, caring person. Because you've taken a lot of responsibility, perhaps you're feeling a little bit tired of being the person who's always bossing other people around, of being the one who tells it how it is and has to be the, you know, the hard ass. Has to be the strong one, has to be the one always taking in like everything under their wing. You know, part of that can lead you to forgetting the softer side. And maybe taking a deep breath and connecting with that more feminine energy is actually going to empower you to be an even better boss, an even better person in charge. Because that intuition, that caring, that empathic sensibility is within us all. And sometimes we ignore it because it does lead us to a little bit more of a vulnerable position, especially if you are harmonizing with someone else's energy. But without it, it only just gets put to the side within you. It's still there. And it has a lot to offer. So, group number 3. If you haven't, I would start with reading number 1 next, because I feel like this reading deserves more to it. And a lot of the energy that I see here harmonizes very much with reading number 1 and 2. So, the choice is up to you. I hope you have a fantastic upcoming day or upcoming week, and I will see you again later. Take care.